name's Sreenivasan. I work on a program called the PBS NewsHour. I work as an anchor on the weekends, a correspondent during the day, but I'd say my occupation is primarily storyteller. I don't know. I mean, I think that I would be doing something that fed my curiosity, and I think that journalism has been fantastic for that. I might work at a university. I might work as a teacher or something that allowed me to keep learning more. So I think that's really important to the core of who I am. And I also want to be engaged with new, different, smart people, right? So that's why maybe higher academia or something might have been in the cards. But right now, this is kind of the best gig that I could have dreamed up for myself. You know, I think being an immigrant helped me be the journalist that I am today because it immediately put me into an environment where things were unfamiliar to me, where I had to figure out how to make sense of them. And more often than not, I had to make sense of them for my parents, who were in a greater culture shock. Kids absorb languages and culture really quickly, and oftentimes kids are the translators culturally for their parents. So when we first immigrated to this country, you know, I actually would sit next to the TV and I would be translating news to them in real time. And I told, when I met Peter Jennings, the first time I met him before I worked with him, I told him, I said, you know, I learned English partly by watching you and translating you for my parents. And he said, you do realize that you were getting American English from a Canadian, right? And I was like, yeah, you're right. But so I think that now what I try to do is also translate situations that an audience might not have been in for them, to help them figure out why this sort of context matters and why the story matters, right? So it's whether you're telling your family and friends what was important that day or whether you're telling someone new what's happening somewhere else in the world. I think being able to see the world through different lenses really helped. More serious, I'd say that it took me a while to figure out that it's not just about the meritocracy, that there are other soft skills that are really important in the working world. It's not just your grade point average or how good you were at this project or that project, but that connecting with people, and whether it's your boss or your colleagues, how you get along. There's really kind of an old quote that I'm probably going to get wrong and I won't attribute to the right person, but it says that you know, people might not remember what you did, but they'll remember how you made them feel. And that's really, as I move on from newsroom to newsroom over time, I start to remember people for how they made me feel, not the particular story that we worked on. So I think I wish I had known more about how much more valuable that those soft skills are, that I can teach someone how to work a camera and a microphone and editing software. Those are all learnable. But I think people skills are really underrated, and they're really, really important regardless of what you do in your life. Oh, you have to be curious. I mean, if you're not curious, journalism is not for you, right? I mean, journalism to me is a license to stay curious. It is an opportunity for me to take a microphone and a camera or a pad and a pen to anyone, regardless of where they are in power, right? Whether they're a mayor or a president or a CEO or a homeless person or a victim of some sort. It doesn't matter. That if you're not curious about why they're in the place that they're in and what can be done about this situation, then journalism is not for you. So for me, if you want to be a journalist, you have to have a fire in the belly, that you have to be that kid that your parents were annoyed about because you always asked why. If you're that kid, this is the profession. But finding your purpose in whatever profession you're in is not just about checking off the boxes of what you wanted to accomplish. Because more often than not, you'll find that you got there. You crossed off everything on that list that you wanted to do. Then what, right? It's the then what that you have to really grapple with. And for a lot of people, it can really throw them. It's the midlife crisis material, right? Oh gosh, I have a house and a wife and 2 kids and a car and whatever. Well, now what, right? So a sense of purpose in your craft is what is the mission that you're on that would be fulfilled if the circumstances of your employment changed, right? Are you doing this because you're getting paid to do this? Are you doing this because you believe in this? And how much do you believe in this? At what level would you continue to do this? if you couldn't? So let's say you had to take a different job. How would you stay active in this thing that you're still passionate about? Is this what you're passionate about? Right. So, and is there a sense of purpose in the end goal? Is it a group of people that you want to help? Is it an issue that you want to highlight? Is it the profession itself that you want to support? How would you do all of that if you weren't in the job and getting paid to do it? That helps, I think, to help you understand, like, is this a purposeful life that I'm living? How does your personal purpose translate through your career? And it's answerable by the fact that how would you do what it is that you're doing if you weren't getting paid to do it?